Wow, it's been a while. It has been a while. It is a new year. It is 2025, and your pals are alive. We come together. This is the Professionals and Animal Lovers Show. I haven't said that phrase in a long time, Valerie. I'm like, what happened, man? It's been so long. How are you?
Doing great. It has been too long, and I do feel rusty, but I am also so excited to be back because this is going to be a banner year. I tell everyone about our podcast. I mostly tell them about the bone broth episode because that's what really changed our lives and everything. And I send it out. And anyway, I just can't get enough of meeting and learning from other animal lovers and bonding and reconnecting. It's awesome. Let's go.
It's awesome. Let's get together. Let's support one another in business, rescue, and advocacy so that everyone wins.
Especially the animals.
The animals. We do three. Remember, we do three things on this show. We learn, we educate, and then we advocate. Advocate. I've been out there. I've done it. I tell you, I'm a changed man because of you, Valerie Heffron. I'm a changed man. We have a friend, Meredith, is here with us today. Meredith is going to tell her story to all of our listeners and to Valerie and me because we're here too. Val, you go back. You know Meredith for a long time. Why don't you set it up a little bit, please?
So of course, all great things originate from the beach. And yeah, so I met now Dr. Meredith, I have to say that. But anyway, I met Mary 15 years ago. I have lost track. I don't even know
Something
how
like
old
that.
anyone is anymore, whatever, something like that. In the greatest beach community, which is Long Beach, New York. There was volleyball, there was friends, there was socializing, parties, restaurants, whatever. And lo and behold, when after I moved to Florida, I had a text or a call from her, and she was coming to visit where I used to live. And she had she had a friend that I hadn't met yet that also moved to that area, St. Augustine. So we reconnected, and I was really blown away
Mary is
because
part of the volleyball group. She's part of
I
the Long
never
Beach
met her
volleyball group.
before. Yeah, no, I somehow that I don't know how I missed her, but anyway, what was cool is that back then she blew my mind because she was telling me that she was going into a veterinarian program. And I forgot which country it was. I'm sure you'll refresh, but ultimately she was just going into the beginning of that journey. And I was like, wow, that is so cool because, she'd already done college, she'd already had a successful career in the medical world. So to kind of want to reinvent yourself and go back to school, serious school, no offense to like bartending school, but this is an intense, course load. I was super impressed. And now, fast forward, she's done it, she's here, and we're going to get into it. Let's get into it.
Thank you.
Let's get into
Congratulations.
Yeah, when you and I met, I was working as a physician assistant in orthopedic surgery in Manhattan,
Mhm,
at Mount Sinai Hospital. Absolutely loved it,
mhm.
but wanted to go to veterinary school. So sold my home, left my career, and a couple of years later, here I am.
Amazing,
Um,
amazing. And there were a couple of things that happened in between there that did you have to evacuate first time out, back it up. Where was that? What country was your school in?
So I did my didactic portion at Ross in St. Kitts, and then I did my clinical rotations at LSU at Louisiana State.
Okay, cool. And didn't you have to evacuate? Was there a hurricane or something? Like, remind me what happened again. Oh no, it was
They
COVID. It was
COVID.
COVID.
Yeah.
That's what happened. So now you're in St. Kitts and COVID hits. How
Yeah.
was that?
So everything went on lockdown. It was different. Um, like you were only allowed to go to the grocery store certain days, certain hours, depending on what zone you were in. And you were
Wow.
only allowed to, if you were doing certain things that you had to be on campus for, like certain physical portions that you could do that you couldn't do online, like a classroom setting,
Hmm.
the police knew where you were going. They knew what days you were going to be at the hospital, what times you were going to be there. You had to get special permission from the ministry. It
Mm,
was definitely interesting. Yeah.
that is intense, Mike. And I'm just
Yep.
thinking in my head, like, you really just got there and then COVID struck. And I'm thinking, wow, you left your everything you knew, your family, your friends, your network. That must have been, oh, look how strong you are, though. I mean, that
Well,
must have been incredible.
it really wasn't that bad.
Huh.
I did a lot of growing up in the West Indies. I was split between New York and Jamaica with my grandparents. So
Hmm.
I was used to that kind of environment.
Okay.
Um, Brutal honesty, I think the hardest thing for me was going back to school. I had had my master's already. I did my undergrad at WashU, my master's from Seton Hall. And now I'm going to school years later with these kids who are 15 years younger than I am. So it's very different. Um,
Mm-hmm.
some amazing people, though.
I'm sure. I mean, I would hope that obviously anyone who's going into that world of veterinarian practice that they're animal lovers. At least I would hope so, right?
Oh,
But
absolutely.
so right there, we probably got good people. Um, so let me ask you, because you have like a niche from what I've
Yes,
seen. Let's talk about what drew you, talk about what you're doing and what, attracted you to that part of veterinarian care.
sure. I worked with primates for a while. I worked with monkeys
Awesome.
because it was a logical transition from human medicine to veterinary medicine. I absolutely loved it. Wasn't too crazy about the corporate world.
Mhm.
Wasn't too crazy about the corporate world in small animal medicine. Just things are very financially driven and things have to be done a certain way.
Yeah.
So I do in-home euthanasia and acupuncture. I'd say about 98% of my business is in-home euthanasia and probably about 2% acupuncture, herbs, and things like that.
Mm.
And it's just a good fit. In-home euthanasia, it's gut-wrenching, but it's a necessary field. Um, I mean, I learned with each of my animals that I unfortunately had to put down when I had to go to the vet, it's Fluffy's in pain. Fluffy doesn't like going to the vet. They're associated with pain, cold, funny smells,
Stress.
and they're taken away from their family and they're in pain and they're stressed out. So if you can provide them in-home euthanasia,
Yeah.
it's a peaceful process. It's a pain-free process. They're in the comfort of your home. They're surrounded by loved ones. It's familiar smells. There's
Yeah.
some people that have had their children in the room. Some kids walk in and out of the room. They're not sure what they want to do. Some pets come in and they get it. And it's just a more seamless transition.
It's
And I guess part of
compassionate.
it had,
Mhm.
yeah. And I guess part of it had to do, and part of the acupuncture and herbs and laser and therapy mats and things like that, I went to more training for that over at Chi Institute in Florida. And both of those are because of my rescue. Um, my rescue dog, Dobby, I adopted him when I was living at LSU. He was an abuse case. I don't really think that you guys want me to go into his litany of medical issues, but let's just say he's missing three of his paws, and he was born with all four paws. So he definitely had a lot of trauma, human induced, and it was
Mhm.
very touch and go with him. He spent months going from the hospital to his foster home, and it was, is he going to make it? What are we going to do? And he loves people. When he finally came home with me after we got him settled with his prosthetics, actually, this is him. He's a
He's
therapy
adorable. I've
dog
seen
now.
him on Facebook. I voted for him.
Yes. Thank you.
You're welcome.
He's a therapy dog. So he goes to rehab
Incredible.
hospitals. He goes to, when Milton hit us in Florida, I took him down to where the linemen were. I took him down to where the 9/11 workers were. I took him down to when we were helping people gut their homes. Just, it's so much trauma and so much emotionally. Sometimes just having an animal around helps them a little bit.
Yeah, and
So, sorry,
I,
go ahead.
oh no, I just wanted to say that first of all, I love what you're doing. I totally
Thank
get
you.
it. And ironically, you said Fluffy. I lost my cat Puffy last year. Um,
Oh
and
gosh.
and I would have brought someone. So we didn't know who I've never had to put an animal down. So of course we have a vet, but it's the kind of vet that, they book out like 3 weeks or 4 weeks in advance. So we we were hoping she would pass at home. And then, because it was like 7 in the morning, we knew she was not going to make it. She was diabetic. It was clear she was in a coma. Her eyes were open, but her body was
Mm.
totally limp and her tongue was hanging out. It was awful. And, we held her like the rule was at least one of us had to have at least one of our hands on her at all times. So when I went and showered, Barry had her. When he
Yep.
went and showered, I had, and we kept like he kept listening to her heartbeat because he has a stethoscope, and he
Mhm.
was like, it's going to be any second, it's going to be any, I don't think she's going to live another hour, but she kept holding on. So then it became like panic mode because it was like 3 o'clock in the afternoon and we knew that there was a chance we wouldn't get in with her and she needed, it was her time, right? So anyway, but I totally understand what you're saying because I also remember sitting in the vet's office holding her in a towel. And it was just so aggravating to me because, there were all these happy people around, like, they're picking up their puppy or, their dog just got groomed or whatever. And I was just dying. And I hated being there. And then I brought her into the room, steel table, it's medicinal and it has to be. I get it.
Cold
It has to
clinical
be
environment.
sterile. What?
It's a cold clinical
Yeah.
environment,
Yeah. Oh my God. I
physically and
totally,
emotionally.
I wish you were here. I would have called you in a heartbeat. And that's what we were hoping. We were hoping she would pass here at home. And the other thing I just want to say really quickly is that I also totally believe that animals really do, like, they can understand things. And this is the part that I believe messed up my other cat. They were best friends, right? And I showed her to Phoebe before we took her to go euthanize her, but she was still alive. So
Yep.
technically, right? So all I know is that I don't think Phoebe just saw us leave with Puffy, and then we
And not
came
come
back
back.
without her, right? And when we left, she was still technically alive. So Phoebe started displaying these behaviors where all of a sudden at like 3 in the morning, she was walking around the house calling for her, and which broke my heart even further.
Oh,
And it took us a while, but then it took us a while, but we ended up getting another cat, and I don't know, whatever. All I'm trying to say is that I completely, that's such a like a validation to me about what you're saying is like allowing the other animals to be
oh,
part of
absolutely.
the
Yeah,
transition. Yeah.
absolutely. I was at someone's home the other day and there were 5 other dogs in the house,
Hmm.
and they all kept coming in to check on the dog, and then they would walk out. And the final moments, they gave the dog and they gave the family their piece. But before we removed her, we let all the animals come in and just say their goodbyes. And it
Yeah.
it sounds I realize how that sounds. I realize that I may sound like a crazy person.
No, not at all. Not here.
They need that closure.
Yeah,
And they know.
they do know. They
Mhm.
do. I mean, we've all seen videos of like when someone someone passes away and they take the dog to the cemetery and they're hugging and crying over the tombstone. I know they know. They know
Oh,
more than we do,
absolutely.
I believe.
Absolutely. And having kids, it's a parent's prerogative if they want the child involved, if they don't want the child involved. And what also threw me is a mutual friend of ours in Long Beach had to unfortunately put his dog down and he couldn't find anyone to come to his home.
Mm.
And he called me and he's like, how do I explain this to my boys? And I said to him, I'm like, oh, well, look at the resources your vet gave you. He stopped me. He's like, Mer, what are you talking about? And I said, I don't understand. They didn't give you any resources. And I
Uh,
sent him a link because on my website, I have a
mm,
resource page
mm,
and it gives you phone numbers to call if you need to physically speak to someone. It gives you online chats, online forums to join. It gives you a whole bunch of books, a whole bunch of poems, and then there's a whole children's section
mm.
on books that you can get and workbooks that you can get to explain this to your kids because how do you
Yeah,
explain it to a 7-year-old? You can't.
that's hard.
And I mean, before I put
Mm.
all of this up on the site, I called all the phone numbers. I looked at all the links and checked out all the books and I'm like, okay, this is something I can definitely work with and get behind, but
Yeah.
you need to have those resources available.
So let me cut in
Yes.
here one quick second. So if you're listening on the podcast, it's meredithdmv.com. And then you
DVM.
I said it backwards, huh? meredithdvm.com. Apparently, I didn't read it right. meredithdvm.com. And once you go to the website, everybody, there's a button on top that says resources. Click resources. And here is some of the resources that Meredith shares. I'll tell you, we had
And
to,
they're all free.
they're all free resources. We had to put down the only dog my wife had ever had until my partner on the Professionals and Animal Lovers show coerced me into adopting my best friend Cheeto, my guy Cheeto. But we had a dog. His name was Michelob Light, which would just tell you what era of my life we purchased. We purchased Mickey because I didn't know that we're not supposed to do that, right? So Cheeto's a rescue dog, but I actually bought Mickey. We used to call him Val. I probably tell you we call him Migalobe. That's how we used to say his name. So we purchased him, and he lived for about 14 years. And yeah, and my wife was like 21, going back to college when we got him, and then then we were older and married and had some of our children already. So he was there for like he used to come behind the bar. I was a bartender and he would come behind the bar and it was hysterical. He was a tiny little chihuahua. He was like, it was very funny. But I remember that experience, and my older children, they didn't go to the vet's office with us, but they were aware that we were going to the vet's office, and it was that cold steel table. And what the good memory I have is we were able to take Mickey home with us, and my father-in-law buried him in the backyard. And to this day, all these years later,
Oh,
his
wow.
his collar is on the fence, like
Ah,
yard.
Nice.
Yeah, and it's like been there. I mean, this is going back. It's got to be 10 years, maybe more. But it's what you're providing, Meredith,
yeah.
incredible service from a spiritual perspective. The thing that's getting me is, certainly for the children, but like Valerie talked about with the other cat, like all of a sudden the cat's friend was gone. And nobody
Mhm.
was there to explain what the hell happened. Just like my friend's not here. You left with my friend. Now you come back and my friend isn't here anymore. Like whereas that experience that you explained with with these other animals coming in and checking, and then there was closure.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I think
that's exactly what it is.
yeah, that's so special. Yeah.
It really is. I commend you so much because this is a very prime example of a compassionate person in a compassionate industry. And I think I hope there's going to be a lot more people doing this. And
Thank you.
I will also say this. I don't, well, here's a question. I don't know if this comes into play or not, but so do you also help like validate the decision? Like, because here's the thing, Barry and I, we were kind of hoping that she was just going to make this snap out of it miracle return, right? And there was a point in time, oh God, this is so hard to even talk about. There was a point in time where, again, I was holding her and she was in my lap like horizontally, and all of a sudden her feet started moving like she was walking.
Mhm.
And I knew in my mind, I was like, this has to be like neurological. This is not like she's not. At that point, I was convinced there's no way she was going to make a comeback. But I remember thinking in my head, like, this is her. She's got some place to go.
Yes.
But so, from a medical perspective, like, if you were there, if we called you and you came and let's say you saw that, would you then say, this is just her nerves, she's basically almost gone, and is that, can you help with that final decision?
So I have a very different approach to going to your conventional vet. If somebody calls me and they tell me about their dog, they tell me about Fluffy or Fluffette, and they say, this is how old she is, this is what's going on, da 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 da. There's some people I've said to them, I said, listen, your cat is 12 years old. That's not old for a cat.
Hmm.
They
Hmm.
were just diagnosed with mild kidney disease a week ago. Not
Hmm.
moderate, not severe, not renal failure, but
Hmm.
a 12-year-old cat with mild kidney disease. You're telling me she's eating, she's drinking, she's urinating, she's defecating, she's playing with her toys, she's active.
Hmm.
I really don't think it's your cat's time.
Hmm. Hmm.
Please call me if anything changes. Absolutely, I'll come over. But all these signs add up to it's not your cat's time. I've gotten
Yeah.
a lot of phone calls like that, and
Hmm.
I'll tell them, take 24 hours, please think it over. I would be remiss in saying it something else is going on with your cat. And I've gotten phone calls from people. Sorry, I'm ignoring my dog.
Oh, that's okay.
Um, I've I've gotten phone calls from these people saying, thank you so much.
Hmm.
Um, Fluffy's with us. She's doing great. Anyone else would have taken the money and euthanized her. Okay, we're gonna go down here. Okay, come on,
Yay.
buddy.
Meredith,
Awesome.
while you're on the move,
Dobby.
I want to ask you a quick question.
Dobby. Hi, buddy.
Hey, Dobby. Dobby.
Hi, Dobby.
Oh my God, he's wrestling you.
Yeah, it's not this kind of show, guys.
Yeah,
But
it's a family
I
show.
love
Dobby. What
you.
are you doing, dog?
It's a family
But
show.
there are a lot of people who they'll tell me what's going on with their pet, and I'll say to them, okay, so let me repeat back to you because you're having a hard time making this decision, and I want to make sure everybody's on the same page, and this isn't something you can take back.
Right.
So, ugh, sorry. Um, so you're telling me your dog Max is 17 years old. He's incontinent. He's in diapers. He's not going outside. He can't walk by himself. You
Hmm.
have to carry him everywhere.
Yeah.
He's not playing. He's not eating. Am I correct in that? Yes.
Okay.
You think Max has a good quality of life? No. I said, okay. Like,
Oh,
I can't make that decision for them.
right.
Can you get your butt out of my face, please? Sorry.
He's talking to the dog, everybody. If you're listening and you're not watching the video,
Sorry.
He
Um,
is
so,
beautiful. Oh,
he's licking your nose.
they
What?
love the nose. I don't get that. I don't know. They love the nose
I
and
don't wear
the ears.
makeup.
What a
Uh,
So,
no.
um, I'll say to them, am I correct in that? I can't make this decision for you one way or the other. This is something you're never going to be ready, but
yeah.
do they have a good quality of life?
Yeah. Yeah, yeah.
And they usually come to that decision on their own. If they're hemming and hawing about it, I'll say to them, "You're not ready yet. I'm not
Right.
going anywhere. I will always answer your call. If I don't answer right away, I'll get back to you as soon as I'm able to, as soon as
Mhm.
I finish up with a patient. But you need to be ready because it's not something you can take back."
I
Let
got it
me ask you a couple of questions. Oh, sorry, Tommy. Go ahead.
real quick, Meredith.
Yeah.
Val, please, Meredith. I'm always in a question like this. It gets difficult because I don't want to put you on the spot, but I'm super curious and I'm battling internally. Do I ask the question? Do I not? So here, I said,
Okay.
finally, I'm going to ask
Ask.
the question. You know, it, there are other veterinarians that may have seen this as a business opportunity, and maybe the dog is not ready to go, and the first dog you talked about is having a good time. It's a little bit of kidney disease. I mean, there's human beings walking around with kidney problems, and
Yeah.
we're not putting them down. So, I guess my question is, you know, the doctor is supposed to be there, do no harm, right? At least on the people side of things, right? Um, do you feel that sometimes people's decisions might be influenced by different things when they might?
100%. Yes.
I try to
I've
be diplomatic in asking that question because I don't.
No, 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 that's fine. Christmas Day, I'm
Toby,
ignoring him. I'm sorry. Um, Christmas Day, I got 3 phone calls, 2 text messages. Thank you so much. You are 100% right. Fluffy is doing fantastic. We're so happy to have this time with him. Anyone else would have taken our money and put him down.
Yeah. Ring the
And
register.
yeah,
Right.
I don't comprehend that. It's not
Yeah.
ethical.
because because some people it's business, right?
Yes.
I mean, listen, we've had some things that we talk about learn, educate, and advocate. And excuse me, here on Long Island, I had some experiences with Valerie, and there was a veterinary place here on Long Island that was Val. You can tell the story much better than I can, but there was the town was scooping up the cats, and the cats are being put down way before the waiting period and all this kind of stuff. And you know, that's business, right? I
Mhm.
don't say that because I support that, but that's just business, right? Like that's these
Oh, I have to interject on that because there's an update on that story.
update. This just in.
Ding, 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 ding. Yeah. So what happened is that we had on Tate Simmons, whose cat was picked up and put down within like 2 hours. And there's in the state of New York, there's a 5-day hold for strays so that people have a chance to find their animals. Anyway, long story short, the vet who actually did that was recently on the news for an animal hoarding house in Woodbury, New York,
Mm.
and she had like over 100 animals, a lot of birds, dead animals in her house, and the SPCA literally said that this was like one of the worst things they've ever dealt with. They deal with hoarding houses all the time. So to call out that one as the worst, I mean, they said they couldn't even
Oh my
fit more than
gosh.
two. Yeah, they couldn't even fit more than two people inside the house at the same time when they had to have the hazmat suits on and everything. So yeah, that's the vet who killed Tate Simmons's cat Spirit within 2 hours of it being picked up across the street from her house.
So that's business, Mary. That's just like right, like that's just how some organizations and companies work. That's a Val said it. I thought it. It's ring the register. Cha-ching.
Ring the
Ring
register.
the register, man.
There's also something I forgot where I read this. This is a fictional story, but it was like maybe in a business book or something where someone walks into a general store and basically asks for something that it was completely evident they didn't really need, and it had something to do with seeds and farming. I don't really remember the whole story, but bottom line is that the clerk was explaining to them why they didn't need all those seeds because basically they were gonna overplant and whatever. And then the owner came out and said to the clerk, after the person left, like, you shouldn't do that. If someone comes in and they want 1,000 pounds of apple seeds, you sell them 1,000 pounds. And I was like, ew,
Yeah.
because like I think it's much better to explain to the customer and help educate them so that they're not overspending and getting stuff.
Absolutely.
Right, right. Yeah.
Absolutely. And honestly, if they want to be smart about it and instead of thinking about it from a humane point of view, which you educate the person and you don't sell them more than you need, but if you want to think about it from a business sense, most people get business by word of mouth.
Right.
So if you say to somebody, yes, I can sell you all this, there's always going to be somebody out there willing to take your money. But hey, you
Exactly
don't
right.
need all of this.
Yeah.
You're going to do a lot better in the long run.
Yeah.
Totally agree. Totally agree. All right, so I have to ask a couple of questions. I wrote this down. Hold on one second. Okay, this is going to be fun for
Uh-oh.
me. I don't know. But so acupuncture.
Yes.
Let's talk about some of the things that acupuncture can help with for animals. And
Oh,
also, is it just dogs and cats, or what kind of animals can you treat?
so dogs, cats, they do really well with it. Birds do very well with it, surprisingly.
Hmm.
Um, Horses are amazing.
Horses.
Um, Goats, it's usually hit or miss. They either do well with needles or they do well with lasers. I haven't met too many who have done well with both.
Hmm.
So a lot of musculoskeletal issues can be treated with acupuncture. It depends on who you go to. I went to Chi University over in Reddick in Florida,
Mhm.
and Dr. Shea, who owns the institute, started it. He's incredible.
Mhm.
He teaches you it's integrative medicine. It's not saying, hey, go away all of Western medicine. Absolutely, there are certain things you need antibiotics for, you need certain medications. But in
Trees, right?
yeah, but in
Mhm.
scanning the animals, their personality, their meaning, are they an earth personality, which is basically like a happy lab and just chill and they like to eat, or if they're a fire personality, like my dog, he is go, 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 and that's it. It depends on their personality. It depends what their tongue looks like, what their pulses feel like.
Mhm.
And some dogs do really well with acupuncture needles. Some dogs do better with laser. Some dogs do better with herbs. Same thing with horses, although horses tolerate needles typically very well. But I mean, you take my dog, he's very much a fire personality, go, 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 go. He only has one speed, and he doesn't do that well with needles. So I give him herbs. And every once in a while, I'll put in a couple of needles. You get somebody like your happy little lab who's very chill, they can tolerate a lot more needles. Maybe they'll need some herbs to supplement it, which is instead of them getting needles on a regular basis, you give them herbs. It's almost like a little booster every day. Um,
Do you give Dobby?
Pardon?
What kind of herbs do you give
Uh,
Dobby?
Dobby is on concentrated body sore. He's on tendon ligament therapy. He's on a little bit of Shen Calmer, because sometimes his nubs bother him because he's a triple amputee at the carpus. He's missing his paws. So it's
Yeah,
essentially right here at the wrist.
yeah.
Um, he's on a joint compound
Uh-huh.
and he loves it. He does really well with it.
Yeah, yeah. No, I love this. I find all of this fascinating. And so
Mhm.
when you say musculoskeletal support, we're talking about like
Sorry. Um,
dysplasias. Yeah, go ahead.
so hip dysplasia, dogs with arthritis,
Hmm.
um, dachshunds, your little hot dogs that all seem to have neck and back injuries.
Yeah.
There are some horses that have stomach ulcers. There
Mm.
are different ways of treating them, certain herbs, certain acupuncture needles, and different
Mm.
ways to handle all of those, certain skin conditions.
Mm. There's so much. I have to imagine if you're treating a horse for acupuncture, how many needles are you taking with you? I'm picturing like a lot of needles. Am I wrong? I don't know.
Well, it depends because it's not like, hey, my wrist hurts. Okay, let me throw a whole bunch of needles in around my wrist.
Mhm.
It's what's their personality? What does their pulse feel like? What color is their tongue? What's the shape of it? Do they run hot? Do they run cold? They like this? Do they like this?
Mhm.
And depending on that, it doesn't hit the same organs, the same systems. Like if you want to get rid of, say for a person, a headache, a point is like right here.
Hmm.
So what corresponds physically doesn't necessarily correlate with where you would put the needles, if that makes any sense.
It does, and only because a long time ago, I had a friend of mine who went to acupuncture, and I'm trying to remember what happened was he was playing with his young kid, like holding him up in the air, and he really, really messed up his shoulder. So he tried other things. Nothing was, he went to the traditional doctors and they were giving him like pain meds, but it just wasn't going away. He had a hard time putting on like a coat. So he went to acupuncture kind of like as a last resort, right? And he said he was completely blown away because I think, what did he say? If it was his right shoulder, I think he said something like she was putting needles in like his left like kneecap area or
Yep.
something like that. And it worked. And
Mhm.
I was like, what happened? I was like, this was a long time ago. But yeah, it's wild. It's so wild how I guess that's connected somehow.
It's all connected.
Yeah.
It's amazing.
It is amazing to know how to locate, I guess, the corresponding nerve, or I don't even know what it is, but I don't know what to call it, but it is wild.
Different meridians.
There you
And
go.
everything hits different organs in your body, which will hit different organs in your on the outside,
That's
if that makes any
incredible.
sense whatsoever. Like if a horse
Yeah.
has stomach problems, you may find something over here. You wouldn't
Hmm.
necessarily have to put the needles in their stomach.
Mm.
And
Wow.
it's about moving the chi, moving the life force, and just getting rid of
Yeah.
that energy blockage.
That is so wild. I also have another friend who this is over 20 years ago now, but she was in a terrible car accident a week before she was due to deliver her second baby.
Okay.
And long story short, she was very injured herself and she did lose the baby. But while she was recovering, she had like everything on one side of her she was in so much pain. She couldn't walk down the flight of stairs. She was really banged up. And same thing, the pain meds didn't work over like a long-term period. So she went to an acupuncturist in Port Washington. I believe the name is Dr. Ping, if memory serves. But anyway, she said to her, okay, we're going to do a treatment, and everything that you're feeling is going to shift to the other side of your body. And then you're going to come back and we're going to do a second treatment, and then it's going to be gone. And that is exactly what happened. I was so blown away. I was like, how did it move over to the left? Or, you know what I mean? Like, I
Awesome.
don't, it, it's,
Hold hold on. Here we go. So, Dr. Cronin, because you told me to call you Meredith.
Meredith.
Now I'm going
Yes,
to Dr. Cronin because I'm going to ask you doctor stuff.
go for it.
So, like, how about on people? Like, let's just say somebody who's dealing with a bit of the diverticulitis. Is there something we can do with these needles, maybe that maybe we should take this offline so you don't give them medical advice here. But I'm just wondering, like, because how many different ailments or challenges or imbalances in the system can really be fixed by the needles and the herbs and things?
A lot of them can be helped.
Okay.
Some of them can't be completely cured by needles and herbs. A lot of them you will need to, it's integrative medicine. You're integrating Eastern and Western medicine.
Yep. Yep.
But you'd have to ask a human acupuncturist about that one.
All right, so
Mhm.
gang, I'm looking for a human acupuncturist who likes animals. Must love dogs. Wasn't that like a movie, Val? Wasn't that
Yes, it was. I love that movie. And then also, unfortunately, as I'm sure you are aware, there is a ridiculously high percentage of dogs who are diagnosed with cancer. I believe it's 60% now. Um, does acupuncture and herbs, you would say that that can help? Can it help prevent? Is there anything that you would advise in that realm of prevention? And I'm sure it can help with treatment and just like discomfort, like helping the animal be more comfortable.
So it's not going to cure cancer.
Right.
Definitely not going to cure cancer, but it can give you a better quality of life. So it can make the animal more comfortable.
What about prevention? Does this help like boost their immune system?
It can, yeah.
Okay. Okay. That's good stuff.
But
Dobby is
that's
a very
also going to
lucky dog.
be herbs, it's going to be food therapy, it's going to be
Mhm.
proper nutrition, it's going to be all of that stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
Perfect. Yeah, let me ask you that to that point because I'm looking on your website, traditional Chinese veterinary medicine, things like that. So I think you said at the front of the show that 98% of your business is the in-home euthanasia. Is that correct?
Yeah.
Um, that leaves 2% where you're treating patients who are going to be around longer, right? So is there that traditional Chinese veterinary medicine, and I'm looking at on this on your website here, gang, and the website is meredithdvm.com. Um, talk to us about that. Like, if I was to bring Cheeto to visit you and just be like, Cheeto's having this issue or this challenge, how does that process work through like a diagnostic, if you will?
So you get to know the personality about the animal. Um, Again, it's all about the elements. It's all, do they have a fire personality? Are they go, 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 go? Are they an earth Labrador? Do they just kind of sit there and hang out? This is also something that I haven't, full disclosure, I haven't been doing this that long. So complex cases, I already spoke to a local veterinarian and I said to her, you've been doing acupuncture for decades. Anything that's complex, are you okay if I send it your way? And she said, absolutely, yes, thank you.
Nothing gives me more confidence in somebody than exactly what you just did there. I'm
I
like,
know.
this is not exactly my bag. I need some support here. Let me reach out and let me get somebody who, that to me is instant credibility
Right.
versus the alternative is like, I got it, man. No worries. We'll figure it out. That
No. If I don't know something, I'm the first one to say to you, I have no idea. We're going to figure it out together. Somebody called me the other day. They're like, hey, do you do chiropractics? I need this, this, and this for my dog. And I said, I don't do it, but I know a team that's chiropractics and acupuncture together. And I think that would be a better fit for you and your dog rather than going to this one for chiropractics, me keeping the acupuncture. No, this is a complex case. They need both of them. Absolutely go to the other person. It's a better use of your time and your money.
But also because, look, because it's about the animals.
Exactly.
That's really all that matters. Like I can't even tell you how many times I have been on the phone with people from other states and for free. And I'm like reading labels. People send me labels all the time to read through Facebook Messenger, whatever. And I give them an honest opinion and I let them know why. But I because I want their pets to be healthy.
Yep.
So I totally get that. And I want to switch gears now to our new favorite subject. So can you please tell us about this competition that Dobby is involved with so that hopefully we can get some votes his way?
So, Dobby, my little rescue, he was found by Last Chance Arkansas. He was named Pet of the Year by Arkansas Veterinary Medical Association. He was in a calendar. Um, he's my little rock star.
Yeah,
He learned how to run in his prosthetics. It scares me half to death.
yeah.
It's amazing, and he's so
I bet.
happy doing it.
Aw.
And someone sent me this thing, hey, you should enter Dobby in this contest to be Pet of the Year and featured in Modern Dog magazine. And I went, no thanks. Like, no, 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 no. You really need to do this. Nobody out there is like your dog. It'll get Dobby's story out there,
Mhm.
educate people. And with the prize that you get, you can donate it back to, or donate the majority of it back to the rescue.
Mm.
And said, all right. So,
Now I'm in. Right, right, right. That's
Going on.
that's amazing. So how do we vote for him?
um, uh, let,
What is it?
Sorry.
Maybe we could find it. What's it called?
It's on
uh,
your Facebook page.
wait.
Okay. Sorry, I didn't mean to
No, 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 no. You're good.
but I'll
Um,
tell you something. I really I hope he does win because it's a really special
Thank you.
story. And the fact that these animals can love and trust and after they've been through so much, it's constantly amazing me, you know. They're so forgiving and they're just all they want is love. It's unbelievable. And now he's a therapy dog,
Yeah.
teaching
He is.
people, right?
He is. Tell me, I just sent you the link, so that should be coming in any minute.
Oh, we
But
got up.
Dobby is a therapy dog. He's part of the
Yeah,
GO team. It's nationwide crisis intervention. He goes to airports, he goes to hospitals, he goes to rehab facilities. They go
yeah.
to the library, kids read to them.
I love
Um,
that.
Where do you see this
the,
picture, Al? Where do you see this picture of Dobby? Okay,
Okay, okay.
keep talking. Keep
oh,
talking.
the one in his wagon.
Yes, yes, yes.
Let me see. I mean, he's so happy.
Oh, he's
Look
in
how
first.
happy.
So he's in first place. So let's
Oh, wow.
Dobby a rescue is a traumatic triple amputee at the carpus. Dobby gets around on his prosthetics or hitches a ride in his wagon. I sometimes you run around, Dobby, you need somebody to pull you around in a wagon. I know how that works. So now,
There's a link on there to his video with him running in his legs.
Oh, let's see it.
He's got a bunch of photos up there of him and his prosthetics.
I'll see Val.
Um,
Yeah, Valerie, sorry, Meredith. Val, you can't do this because you're gonna look at all of them. You just gotta look at Dobby. If you go to this thing, you're not gonna be able to vote for him anymore. You're gonna be stuck. You're gonna try to
And
figure.
I know him through Mary because and he's on our show.
Look at look at Summit. Look at Summit. Look at Shadow. I mean, you're gonna have a hard time here, is what I'm saying. Dobby, we got you back. How about this one? Look at Gino the hot dog. Literally dressed up like a hot dog.
Everybody needs to vote for Dobby.
Dobby, sorry, the rest of these dogs we
We're
can't.
taking a position, and this is our advocacy of the day. Vote for Dobby.
I don't know where the video is, but check out. So what we'll do is we'll put this on Facebook and everywhere we put the show. But it is America's Fave Pet.com, but Fave FAVPET.com. That's where you check it out. You know, / 2025 / Dobby DOBBY dash 7F4C / Val. It's kind of like one of those
Yeah, it's
like
just
one of those laws you want me to call the governor about, and I is and slashes and all this kind of stuff. But so this is actually going on. This is in real time. Um, where is this right here? So you see the votes. Oh, here's a bunch of Dobby stuff down. If you scroll
oh, he's so
down, and oh wow, check this out. So you get to for the amount of dough you donate, for the amount of
no, 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 no. I've only been clicking on the one vote, which is free.
oh,
So
okay,
I've been voting for him every day because that's free.
you have, but people could like if somebody wants to like if it wants to be like you know the machine politics in Chicago back in back in the day, right? Like where you could put if you donate $250, you get 250 votes.
You
That's
can do that, or you can do one vote for free.
you can do
And
one.
at the bottom, there's I think on the left, that's maybe the link to his video.
I don't know if the audio is going to play. I'll click the button and see what happens. Oh my God, what a handsome monster this guy is. He's so good.
he's so cute. I
God.
He's
love his ears.
pounds. He is not a little dog.
No, no. Well, again, I got Cheeto, and Cheeto is like, 26 pounds, and that's plenty. So we don't need a big dog. Oh, he's beautiful. Beautiful coat.
I like the one. Yeah, go to the next one. Go to the next one. Big, wide mouth open.
Look at the end. Oh, no, this
No.
one.
Yeah, 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 yeah. Oh God. Yeah, I mean, come on. You gotta vote for this dog.
How about
Um, Mary, let me ask you a question. Are you, I can't, forgive me if I've already asked you this, but I'm basically asking everyone in Florida who I know. Are you going to the Global Pet Expo?
When is it?
It is March. I believe it starts on the 26th and it's in Orlando. 26th, 27th, 28th. It's a 3-day pet expo. I would so love to meet up with you there. It is just everything in the world you can possibly think of when it comes to pets. And certainly it's cat and dog prevalent, right? Like toys, treats, food, outfits, knapsacks to carry your cat around in and everything like that. But also there's equestrian, there's fish, there's
Nice.
all these fish tanks and everything, there's supplements and stickers and there's also a couple of like not-for-profits like Human Animal Bond, I believe will be there. Anyway, it's football fields of pet stuff.
Okay.
Yay! All right.
You're
Let's
going to be there. Yeah, let me know when you're there. I'll definitely check it out.
Awesome. How far away is that from you, Orlando?
Mm, 3 hours-ish?
3. Okay, yeah. All right,
Yeah.
awesome. I'll hit you up and we'll meet up and it's going to be the best time ever.
Awesome. Thank you.
I invited Tommy to Misa,
It's funny.
not to put any pressure.
Yeah, but I go by Tommy D. I don't like
Tommy D.
my whole government name being out there. But thanks, Val. Now it's out there. Now people know who I am.
I
Um,
said it so fast, nobody knows what I said.
Nobody knows. Yeah. So it's funny you say that because I just realized I didn't realize it was in Orlando, and I have a friend of mine. Shout out to my friend Darcy, who is in that neighborhood now. So maybe maybe we got to put a whole friendship group thing together.
Let's do it.
It's in March, right?
March 26th,
This
27th, and
thing where I
28th.
told you we were going to do this a couple years ago, where I was going to rent this RV that's a dog-friendly
Yeah.
RV. Just Cheeto and I, and maybe one of my kids would I'd smuggle them, but like that's what we were gonna do. So we never did it, but that would be fun. Um, Meredith, this has been fun. Talk about fun. We
So fun.
love having you
Thank
here.
you, guys.
You know what?
Thank you.
If anybody needs to get to Meredith and needs services or needs advice or anything, it's meredithdvm.com, meredithdvm.com. Val, we've
Yeah.
I'm glad to be back, kid. We're back at it. We
I
are.
am too, and I just want to say thank you, Mary, so much because what you're doing is so special. It takes a special person to be able to do this, and it's so helpful. And I'm just so proud to know you, and I can't wait to see you.
I can't wait to see you too. Thank you guys so much.
Thank you.
Mary and I have
Thank
been
you.
talking the last couple of days via text and phone, so I had some laughs and stuff like that. So shout
Cool.
out to Long Island's own Debbie Gibson, who, Meredith and I had Debbie Gibson in common. That's a whole nother story for another day. We leave,
Really.
we leave you,
Out of the blue.
we leave you out of the blue. Cha cha. All right. The greatness of a nation and its moral progress can be judged by the way its animals are treated. Treat your animals well, treat your people well, give hugs. Thank you all. We'll see you soon.
Hey, Gandhi.
Hey, Gandhi.
Thank you, guys.
Thank you.